I think we are live. So, hey, everybody. Welcome to our third Pacesetters. And you know what I'm going to do first? We are going to give everybody a couple minutes to just hop on. And while we are doing that, we are going to just check out our sound and make sure that we are good. So hold on. Oh my gosh. So you guys, I'm looking at some of the posts to the Facebook group, and congratulations to those of you who are posting in there. Carolyn Johnson May, I have 12 parties booked in the next 2 weeks, and that is a first for me, and I am so excited. It is totally going to be an epic year. And you are right, Carolyn. It is going to be an epic year, because how amazing is that? I bet if we polled how many people have 12 parties booked in the next 2 weeks, you would be at the top of the list. So bravo to you. Oh my gosh. And I see some of you are ready. So what I would love for you to do, and let's see, I see that 8 of you are on live right now. I know we have lots more coming, because what did I say yesterday? Be sure you're on live so that you don't miss a thing. So if you can hear me, if you can post under the number 3 Pacesetters post, I guess that's what you call it. If you can post and just tell me that you can see me and hear me and all of that good stuff, we are going to get things moving. So whoever can post to our group and just let me know. This is where the Jeopardy song needs to play as I await. Somebody post and just let me know that you can hear. I can hear and see you. Fabulous, Christina. I appreciate you. Okay, so we are going to get going. And you are probably wondering, oh my gosh, where is Diane sitting? Because this doesn't look familiar to my office. Well, it's not. So this is actually, I don't know what we call this. I guess it's my living room. I don't know. That's what we'll call it for tonight. So we are in the living room, and I came in here because, you know, each of the 3 nights I told you I was going to have special guests. And so I had people live streaming in from all over on Sunday night. And then, of course, we had Danielle from Maryland and Carla from Colorado last night. And tonight, I decided that we were going to have a couple of directors come live right here in my house. And so they joined me tonight. And so, where are they? Here we are. So we have the fabulous sales director, Srila Fitzpatrick, as well as Zarabeth Golden Quinn. But then we had a third person who was going to be with us live stream, and then what happened? We changed our minds. Yeah. So they changed their minds, you guys. And so this afternoon at about 5:15. Yep, that's what time we were at. 5:15. I'm sitting in my office in my workout clothes with my hair pulled back in a ponytail, just stark naked on the face. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I saw pink hair. And I looked out the window and I thought, who is that? And it was none other than Caitlin Haley, who came live to be here with us tonight. I mean, you guys, for those of you who don't know, Caitlin lives in Denver, Colorado, or a city outside of Denver, Colorado, I should say. And I had no idea that any of them were coming live until I saw pink hair coming up the walkway. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is that Caitlin? And then the next thing you know, Srila shows up. And then thankfully they coordinated with Ian, because I had no intention of cooking tonight. And so they coordinated with my husband, Ian, and he brought home Indian food. And so all was well in the world, because our bellies are full and we have coffee that he made for us. And so we are going to just pour into all of you tonight in our third and final Pacesetters. And it's funny because, gosh, when did we talk about, how long ago was it that we talked about doing this together?
Maybe 2 weeks.
No, 3 weeks. The beginning of August.
Yeah, some months ago.
Yeah.
It was like the beginning of August. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought, oh my gosh, I had just casually, you guys, I have to be careful what I casually say, or I need to say casually more things. And I said, oh my gosh, how awesome would it be to do it together? And so they took that and they literally made it happen.
I'm
And
very
so-
literal, Diane. You can't say that.
I understand that now. But so now I have to really use it to our advantage.
Right.
Yes. And we say hi to Ian. He's peering in back there. We locked Fenway away so he doesn't make any special appearances on the table because that is what he would do. Okay, so I am just thrilled to have all three of you here because truly, you know, I couldn't think of, we have so many amazing sales directors in our national area, but the power of you three together with me, I think is going to be just fantastic for what everybody needs. And so I'm thrilled to have you here and I'm excited. And you know what you guys might not know is that these guys, I mean, they have won cars in Mary Kay. They have completed courts in Mary Kay. Like they walk the talk. And I think that tonight's topic and digging into becoming a selling rock star is just right up the alley for all of you. And it's something that you're all passionate about. And, we all are passionate about different things and we all have strengths in different arenas. But, this is just a solid block for all of you. So are you excited to be here?
Absolutely.
Yes? Good. Okay. So let's dig in. So one of the things that I would love to talk about is at your appointments, how do you make them fun and interactive? Because I think so often we can go into appointments and as a new consultant, especially sometimes, or even as a seasoned consultant, if we haven't been doing it a lot, we get nervous and we can go in and we can be reading from our flip chart and just kind of looking at people and it's not that fun, right? So how do we change that so that it's fun and interactive? What would you say?
Well, I think one of the first things is remembering that we're really there for them. And I think it takes the focus off of us and puts the focus on them. We're there to serve them and to show them a good time and pamper them. So one of the things I do is, I think the introduction is really, really important. Kind of when you go around the room and everyone's saying what their name is and what they do and what they would change about their skin. But I also now throw in something like a fun fact. So I say, tell me, something that brings you joy, or tell me like, what is your favorite XYZ? It doesn't really matter, but it's just something that's not necessarily related to what we're doing, but it just breaks the ice a little bit. And then I try to relate to each person. So if someone says something like, I have 3 kids, I would say, oh my gosh, I have 3 kids, right? Yes. Or if someone says, I'm a teacher, I will say, oh, I used to be a teacher, so it's finding a connection with each person as best as you can. Yeah,
it's that building that bridge.
Yeah.
And starting a relationship and a rapport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's all about connecting. Everything in our business is about connecting. So that's really great, Srila.
I can definitely echo Srila on that one, is I like to ask a fun question at the end, and sometimes they're super silly, like, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh,
or if you could eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would that one thing be?
Like a lot of tacos, a lot of ice cream.
Right. Like a great one.
But everybody
like Indian food.
Right. But everybody can relate to food, and maybe not everybody can relate to superpowers, but just something fun and silly. And if I don't have a way to relate to them, I'll ask them another question about it. And be like, oh my God, like I would
tell me
if
more. Somebody
said like, I would love to, if I could have a superpower, I want to fly. I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Why would you want to fly? Or whatever.
Yeah.
And just ask them another question, because then you're kind of getting those wheels turning of like, who are you? What goes on upstairs? So
yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Would you have anything to add to that, Sarah?
Yeah, I think the other thing that I do is try to make it as interactive as possible throughout the appointment, because it's great when they can start, having fun and relaxing in the beginning, but I also don't want it to then be just me talking at them for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I literally say that. I go, okay, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna play with products. Hopefully you guys are gonna learn something. But the last thing I want is to talk at you for the next half an hour. So we're gonna play a game. And I do something that you taught me, which is called ticket marketing.
Yeah.
And so I have a roll of tickets, the double-sided tickets. So I keep one side, they keep the other side. That way they don't have to write their names on it or anything like that. And so every time someone asks a question, they get tickets for participating. And if I'm in front of a bunch of teachers, I call them participation points. If I'm in front of, what I kind of tailor it to whoever I'm with, but it also gets them asking questions about different things because I set the rules. One ticket for really easy questions, like if you can read the back of the bottle and find the answer, that's a 1-ticket question.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you would have to Google it, that's probably a 2-ticket question. Or if it's a little bit more personal or about the business kind of background stuff, those are 2-ticket questions. And if you can think of a Mary Kay or skincare related question that I can't answer, if you can stump me, given that I've been doing this for almost 10 years, first of all, I'll go look up the answer. And second of all, you're gonna get 3 tickets because that's really exciting. Plus, I have to tell you, there is a secret 5-ticket question, but I can't tell you what it is.
That's awesome.
So I say that right at the beginning because it gets them asking questions and interacting because nothing is more blah than standing in front of 5 women and having no one react or interact with you.
Yeah.
And if I can piggyback on that, I love that you call it a game.
Yeah.
Because I think games are fun, right? So you play a lot of games.
Yeah.
Ticket marketing is a game, the referral game, everything's a game.
And games come with prizes.
Games come with
prizes. Exactly. So
And I love prizes.
And so you guys, last night, you heard Carla and Danielle talk about ticket marketing and how they use that as a tool for layering the opportunity in the appointment. And so here again, you realize the importance of it, that it's not just that, it's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Not that we kill birds, but it's a bad saying,
No
as I
birds.
said it.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
No birds are harmed
Yeah.
in the making of Mary Kay.
No. So you're accomplishing 2 things. How about that? We're accomplishing 2 things because we're layering the opportunity, but we're making it interactive and fun because it's a game and prizes are involved. Okay? All right. So that is awesome, you guys. Okay. So let's talk about closing the sale at your appointment. Can one of you share your table close and what you do? First of all, what's the purpose of the table close? Because I think sometimes we think it's just one. So what is the overall purpose? And then share your table close.
Well, I can talk to the purpose, and one of you can share yours. I'm sure they're very similar. We've all been trained by the same people. So the table close is your opportunity to set your full circle up. That's how I view it. I think working full circle is really important, and I think we might talk about that more in depth later, but the purpose of the table close is to wrap up everything you've done and set up the opportunity for sales, set up the opportunity for bookings, and set up the opportunity for team building, and kind of let them know that you're going to be talking to them about all of those things. So that's how I look at the table close, is that preface to all of that.
Yeah, it kind of wraps it up in a package that just brings everything back together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like the idea that like when you go into a lot of presentations, and that not just Mary Kay obviously, but you're gonna tell them what you're gonna tell them, and then you tell them that, and then you remind them what you just told them, and so you're tying it all back together. And so when you're setting yourself up for that close, you're tying it back together. So I like that.
Yeah.
So
That is good.
Yeah.
Good.
so do you want
Sarah Beth, do you want to do your table close?
Sure, I can do my table close. So I'm gonna have whatever closing sheet I have. And I want y'all to know that the company closing sheet is amazing, but if you're using a different one from your sales director, or you found another one, or you created one on Mary Kay in Touch that you like, it's all good. It's just the purpose of having something in front of them so that they can follow along. And so the one that I use is the Little Bag, Big Bag. And so it has a picture of the 5 sets that we just used. We do the Miracle set, the Charcoal Mask, and the Foundation set, and then the Satin set. It's all on there with a roll-up bag, and then underneath it is the starter kit. And on the back is the most popular set so that they can kind of a la carte together. So that's the one I use just for reference for when I'm saying all of this. So we've just finished everything, right? People are done trying products. They've had a great time. They're probably starting to like chit chat and get off worse. So I have to bring them back. And so I usually have to say something like, okay, ladies, I know we've had a really great time. I need just like 2 more minutes, all right? 2 more minutes.
And you
of
laugh like
attention.
that
I laugh at myself and all of my jokes every time.
Yeah.
Someone
has to.
Yeah. Sometimes they laugh along, sometimes they don't. I don't care. My husband hasn't laughed at any of my jokes in the 6 years we've known each other, so I'm used to it. So I just need 2 more minutes of your time. I just want to kind of go over everything and review what we've done. And that way, if you have any questions when we sit down individually, you kind of know what's going on, all right? So there should be a little piece of paper in front of you. It looks like this. Everybody grab theirs. Does everybody have it? All right, awesome. And you should be on this side right here. So you'll see the roll-up bag and all of the products that we tried. Now, I don't know your situation. I don't know where you're coming from, but I just want to review everything that we've tried today in case there is something that you're excited about and you want to go home with. Remember, there's absolutely no obligation to purchase anything. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Did we learn something, like anything? I don't even care what. Okay, cool, great, awesome. I've done my job, yes. So if you loved everything and you're sitting here and you're like, listen, I need a whole new routine. I haven't washed my face in a year. Let's just go all in on this. Then what you're gonna want is that little bag, okay? And the little bag includes one of everything that we tried today, plus you get this travel roll-up bag as a free gift. And then I show them the travel roll-up bag and I say, first of all, it spins. And I don't know why that entertains me so much, but I love it. And then, of course, all these little invisible pockets. So they're plastic, they're see-through. You can see what you're doing. They all sound cool. Y'all. Plus, they're top rack dishwasher safe. Okay, I'm just saying. Ooh. That's really exciting. So I put that back, and of course, it's called the roll-up bag. So it rolls up. And then I pass around the travel roll-up bag, and I let them kind of touch it and play with it. Whatever. So I hand whoever's sitting next to me the travel roll-up bag, and they do the thing. So that's the little bag. That's $249, all included with the roll-up bag as a free gift. So that's obviously that's my favorite thing. That's definitely what I would get started with if I could choose anything. But I know, especially Susie was talking a lot about the Mary Kay business opportunity. So if you're somebody who's thinking about that, you might want to save your money on product and just go ahead and get what we call a starter kit. And so that's the big bag. And then I show them my starter kit because that's what I'm working out of. That's all I bring to my appointments is my starter kit and a roll-up bag. So this is the big bag, y'all. And the big bag comes with almost $500 worth of retail size product intended to give you everything that you need to work your business, plus $200 worth of business materials and training tools and access to resources. And of course, that 50% discount that we talked about. And if you have questions about that when we talk individually, I can definitely answer those, okay? So that's the big bag for people who are thinking about starting a business. Now, if you're probably more in the a la carte situation, like you've got a good skincare system and you just need to fill in some gaps, go ahead and turn that over to the back and check out some of the individual things that we have going on. I will tell you, you don't have to buy anything in sets, but the sets are great because we know that those products work well together. And so you're not using, piecemeal from this company and that company and that company, in which case you might have a little bit of chemical warfare going on. But if that's what you want to do, I'm still here to work with you on it, okay? So that's everything that I have to show you about that. We are definitely going to meet individually still. I know that blemishes and budgets are not something that people want to talk about in a big group around the kitchen table. So don't worry about that. I have a little office set up over here in Susie's living room. So we're going to head out over there one-on-one while you guys get to munch on all this amazing food that she's put together for you. I just want you to know that I'm going to check in with everybody, whether or not you want to go home with anything. I want to know how you did today, what you loved, what you didn't love, if there's anything that I could do better, and just get some of your feedback on that. And also that's where we can talk about those opportunities to earn some free product, okay? Everybody good with that? Now, we are going to do the raffle too, but I'm just going to meet with everybody one-on-one first, okay? All right, awesome. So you guys start munching, and I'm going to take Susie over into the other room.
Okay, that is awesome. And, so here's the thing. Zarabeth took her personality and she made that her own. But there are key pieces that have to happen during that. And so I would encourage you to go back and you can rewatch this link and be able to kind of decipher what are the key pieces that you want to make sure that you're including. Because it's all of them, but with however you want to spin your personality on it.
Maybe
right?
not make the joke about your husband.
Yeah, if you don't have one.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. So, okay, so right away you asked Susie to go. So let's talk about, you're at the table, you've just table closed. How do you transition? You know, the one thing we know we don't want to do is to ask who wants to go first, right? And so who would like to just talk a little bit about that?
I can talk about that. So typically I'll do like the marketing sheets that they were talking about last night. And so it just gives you all the information of their interest in the opportunity, what they liked best, what they liked about their job, what they didn't like about their job. And at the bottom, there's a scale from 1 to 5. And on there, 1 is I am absolutely not interested in doing this as a business, and 5 being like, I'm ready, let's get signed up. And so from that, that's how I pick who I'm going to meet with. And I believe Danielle was talking about that.
Yes.
And so that's where I usually start.
So do you start with the 5s, the 1s?
I start with the 5s. So yeah, start with the people who are excited. So I might want to who you.
I don't do the guest form, so I'm asking.
So yeah, I start with who's most excited about the business opportunity, because if I can have a new business partner, that's where I want to find those people. But if not, I'm excited for sales too.
Yeah, absolutely. So the marketing sheet, can you, after we're done at some point between today and tomorrow, put it under the files tab? Because I'm sure some of them haven't seen that marketing sheet.
Yes.
And you guys, for those of you who do this marketing sheet or the It's All About You form, it's just a matter of having something that allows you to know where is their mindset at that stage. It doesn't, even if somebody puts a 1, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not interested in the opportunity. I still ask 1s to get on the phone and do a training call, but it allows you to prioritize the order that you take people back to the individual close, like Caitlin talked about, okay?
The only thing I would add to that is I do ask, does anyone need to leave sooner rather than later? Because if someone needs to leave, I want to close with everybody. So if someone needs to leave, I will take her over a 5. Close her and then start with my 5s.
And you know, what I do with that is I actually celebrate the 5s. If I see somebody as a 5, I celebrate her before I start individually closing. I celebrate her with everybody at the table. And because then they're affirming her, saying, oh my gosh, you are going to be great. They always say that. And so it's a celebration. So what I will do is I will log her in with my phone to start filling out the agreement, and then I take the person that has to leave. Or sometimes it has to be a paper agreement because things are just crazy and I need my phone and I'm just going to have a paper agreement. And so I always have, and I think Danielle and Carla talked about that last night, always opportunity meets preparedness, right? And so either one. But that's a good point, Srila. Yeah, I do ask that too. Okay, all right, next question that I had. Okay, can one of you share how you effectively manage the individual close? Kind of walk us through, you know, what are the main objectives of the individual close? Actually, before we do that, I just had another thought.
Okay.
So here's the thing I want to just talk about for a second, is the priorities when you're walking into a party. So often what happens is we're looking for the sales, we're excited about the cash, and we want the new customers, and we want to get to those 100 skincare customers like we talked about in these past couple of Pacesetters. And so sometimes we walk in looking for sales. But there are other things that you want to have. You want to have sales, you want to have bookings, you want to get referrals, and you want to get new team members. Those are all of the things that you want. That's working a skincare class or a skincare party or a beauty experience or whatever you want to call it. That's working at full circle. And when you think about the priorities of those items, the number one priority is actually walking in your mind thinking, who is going to be my next team member? Or for some of you who are new, who is going to be my first team member or my second team member? But your number one priority is your team member, and looking for women who you can positively impact their life with this opportunity. The second priority are the bookings. You want to walk away from every party. Your mission should be to walk away with 2 bookings. And you're going to hear in a minute in the individual close when they talk about that, the words that they use and the methods that they use to ensure that they're getting 2 more parties booked. And you guys, and when I say that, I'm talking parties. I'm not talking just a follow-up color appointment. Like, I'm talking groups of people that are going to come together, because that's how you are going to continue to network and grow your business. And I find a lot of times that we struggle with that because we get so caught up with a couple of the pieces and we don't necessarily work all of the pieces. So we're going to talk about that. So number one is, who's my next team member? Number two is my 2 bookings for parties that I'm going to get. The number 3 thing are the referrals. That is the 3rd thing that you want. And my motto from every party was that I need to walk away with 50 referrals from every party. Because if I'm holding 3 parties a week, that's 150 referrals a week that I have to book. And that ensures that every week I'm booking 10 new appointments. And then the 4th thing for priority are the sales. And why is that the 4th? Because you guys, the product, it really is the easiest piece. The product sells itself. And what we find is that because that's the simplest piece, we kind of tend to forget about the importance of the other 3. And so it's super important that you keep those priorities in mind. I remember that I used to have to remind myself in the car on the way, I'm getting my next team member today. I'm getting my next team member today. I can't wait to meet her. Who is she going to be? Yes, I'm going to a signing. Yes, because what you think about, you bring about. Just because the sales are the 4th priority, it does not mean you're not going to get sales. My focus when I went into a party, and I don't know about you guys, but my focus was always $500 parties. I am going into a party and I am selling $500. And sometimes I would think I would just have to be hot on my feet. That if I went into a party and I thought, oh, this is going to be a rough crowd financially, or, I'm not sure, because sometimes maybe I ended up with, a group of college students, and sometimes that can be good, and sometimes it might not be. And so I would think fast on my feet of, okay, well, I've got 6 people here. If I can get them all to at least spend 50, I can walk away with at least 300. And then I can empower them with outside sales to get to 500 based on what they might want for free, right? And so in those instances, I always would have a gift with purchase. When they spend 50, there would be some type of gift with purchase. And sometimes I would decide on the spot based on what I saw that they were really liking, okay? And so it's important for you to realize that sometimes, you know what, you're just going to wing it.
like this.
Yeah, in order to get the results that you want. But you have to know going in, what results do I want? Because with anything in life, if you just go through the motions, you're going to end up getting what you're going to get instead of what you may want. Okay? All right. So that was a long-winded diversion.
But very important.
Yeah.
You need to set those priorities for sure.
Okay. So let's talk about the individual close. Let's walk through the individual close.
So is your question from just as like a role play almost that
Yeah.
is happening?
So
or-
what are the priorities of what you're trying to do? Like, what would be the order of priorities? And then let's walk through the wording. Does that sound good?
Yeah. So I think the order of priorities is the same thing that you just mentioned. The team building first, signing someone up, or getting them on a team building call or an interview, whatever you want to call it. The second is the booking, and the third is the sales. But when I do an individual close, I actually do it in the opposite order.
Yes.
So I kind of go easy to, maybe more challenging. Let's not call it hard, but
Yep.
more challenging. So,
Yep.
So I think the first thing too is also that you need to set the expectation that you're going to do an individual close. So that comes in the coaching process and talking to the hostess ahead of time and letting the whole group of people know at the beginning that that's going to be happening at the end. And so when I take Susie, let's use Susie. When I take Susie to my office, I'm going to ask everybody the same few questions to get warm, which, number one, did you have fun?
Yep.
Always want to know, did you have fun?
Yep.
Did you have a good time? And, 99% of the time they say yes. And then I say, okay, awesome. How does your skin feel? And I always touch my face. We don't want to get a habit of touching our face, but I always touch my face because if you touch your face, then she's going to touch her face. And that's going to remind her how soft and smooth her face feels, right? So she's going to say, oh, I feel amazing. And then I say, that's awesome. And then we'll ask, so do you have any questions about any of the products that we use today, anything like that? And if she does, I answer them. If she doesn't, we move on to the next question, which is, so if you were shopping with my credit card and you had an unlimited spending budget, what would you be taking home with you? And I ask that question because I don't want them to think money, which is what, as women, we think about all the time. I want them to think very practical. I want them to just, say, okay, money's no object, and this is all the things I love. And I make notes on the back of the profile card that kind of creates a wish list of everything that they loved. And I learned this from Lisa Madsen. Like, once they say something, oh, I love the CC cream. Okay, awesome, CC cream, I write down. What else? Oh, I also love that scrubby stuff we did. Oh, the microdermabrasion, okay, great. What else? And I just keep saying what else until she's done talking. And then once I have the wish list, then I say, okay, are those the things you want to take home with you today? And she'll either say yes or no. And if she says no, it's typically she'll say something about, well, I can't spend that much money today, whatever. My husband will kill me or whatever she says, I won't be homeless. So, and then I say, okay, well, what would you like to take home with you? I just very open-ended question. What would you like to take home with you? And I kind of let her do the talking. And if she's kind of struggling with that decision, I kind of make suggestions based on what she may have said that her concerns are or what she needs in her routine. I just ask more questions to help her figure out what does her priority need to be. If she has a budget, what should she take home first? So I help her with that part first.
Yep.
So that's where I start. Do you want me to keep going, or do you want?
Yeah,
I can keep going.
Whatever you want to do.
Well,
Can I throw in one thing?
Yeah,
So I come from a retail background, and so upselling was what we always focused on. And so if somebody's like, oh my gosh, I love that foundation. Okay, awesome. Do you need a primer or a brush to go with that?
Yes.
Or I really love the cleanser. Great. We always pair that with a moisturizer. Can we get you started on the basic set? Or a mascara. Great. Do you need an eye makeup remover and an eyeliner?
Yeah.
Pick whatever complementary pieces to go with that, so that I mean, it might be $12, but $12 is $12 more than what you were getting.
Yeah.
And then it's that whole deep and wide concept of you're expanding their products that they're going to use in reorders.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, and and another thing is sometimes in the process of that conversation, again, I will, because I want to get her to buy 2 sets. Like, I want to get her to buy that basic, and I want her to do the whole foundation set instead of just a cleanser and a CC cream. Sometimes in the process of that, I'll say, well, look, here's the deal. You get both of those sets. That charcoal mouse that you loved, you can get that at half off. Yeah. Or sometimes I'll do it for free, depending on whatever is going on. But I will try and get her to do that in order that she gets a charcoal mask. Because, the one thing that's so important with our customers, and we all know this, is that we want to have, we could say wide and deep with our customer base. So we want wide, a lot of customers, and we want deep on multiple products. And then if we're able to get them on at least 2 sets, preferably 4, that's always my mission, right? I always want to get them on 4. But if I can't get them on 4, I can at least get them on 2 in order that I'm able to start going deeper than just a couple of products.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll add one more thing to the sales piece of the individual clothes. For those of you that are newer or might even feel a little bit uncomfortable with the sales piece, because that's where I was when I started.
Yep.
I had never sold anything. I did not have a retail background. I never would have upsold. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
That would have been, no.
Terrifying.
Terrifying. Terrifying. But I really needed, so Mary Kay used to tell us that it's just as honorable to sell as it is to buy.
Absolutely.
And I would have to remind myself of that literally as I was sitting waiting for the next person to come individually close. It is just as honorable to sell as it is to buy. It is just as honorable. It's just as honorable. All right, I'm ready.
So true.
Just as honorable.
Yeah.
And I would really have to tell myself that because I didn't have any kind of sales background, and talking about money was really uncomfortable for me. But the other part of it is, and Cindy Machado Flippin taught me this, the person who speaks first after you say, so what would you like to take home with you, is the one who goes home with products.
It's a great point.
Okay?
Great.
So,
Yes.
so if you are a person who like fidgets or talks when you're nervous and you're waiting for them to answer, you need to like take a sip of water or stare at your planner or whatever you need to do to not be like, well, what if you only did, or
Yes.
or how about just
Yes.
No, quiet.
Say a
Close
word.
your mouth. Do not
So
say
true.
a word until she gives you a direction, until she starts saying whatever she might be thinking. Because seriously, when you say, okay, so what would you like to take home? I don't care how long it takes. The next person who talks is going home with product. And I don't want it to be me.
And sometimes it feels like an uncomfortable pause, and that's why you want to talk. But you need to not influence at that point, and you need to allow her and grant her permission to process and speak.
Right.
So that's a great point, Zarabeth. Yeah. Okay, so next part of the.
So we've written up the sales slip. We figured out what she wants to buy. Great, awesome. Okay, so let's set up your second experience. So would you rather do a spa or would you rather do a color experience? And they know what this is because again, throughout the introduction and the party, I've been talking about this already. So they're not surprised. They don't not know what it is. And so I give them two options. And I think that's definitely a technique that works versus something that's too open-ended will not work. And you also don't want to ask a yes or no question because that opens the door to a no. So I always give them those two options. So let's set up your second appointment. Would you prefer the spa or the color? I'm not asking if they want to do it. I'm assuming that they want to do it because A, why would they not want more free pampering?
With you.
B, that was my B. I'm amazing. And you like to be in my space. But I know that's a confidence thing that grows with time. I get that. But it's true. It's true. Like if you are making a fun experience and having fun with them throughout the appointment, why wouldn't they want to spend more time with you? So so I'm giving them those options, and they always 99% of the time pick one. Right? And then once they pick one, let's say they say, oh, the spa, because I've romanced that already. They kind of know what that is. I say, okay, great. So what works better for you, a weeknight or a weekend? So what I do is I focus on, that's the dog. Don't be alarmed.
I'm going to just check on the dog.
Check on the dog. So I always give them two options again for the times that I have in my schedule to hold parties, and I book them. I narrow it down. So if they say a weekend, I say, okay, great, Saturday or Sunday. We play this game until we get a date and a time on the books. And once I have that date and time, then I say, okay, so how many people are you thinking you might want to have join you? So again, I'm assuming that they want to have a party. I'm not assuming they want to do it on their own. So I'll say, do you want to do it like a small group, like maybe 3 or 4 people, or do you want to do a big group, like maybe 5+? Like, what are you thinking? And they'll answer that question. And then I say, okay, and then I pull out the referral sheet and I say, out of these people, who are on this list are we going to be inviting to the party? Because I want to get it all set up for you and get it going. And if there's anyone they're not inviting, they'll say, well, I'm not going to invite Zarabeth. I'm not going to invite Caitlin. But everyone else I'm going to invite. Diane's definitely coming because she spends money.
Diane likes to shop.
I'm just assuming that we live too far away, and that's why we're not invited.
No, it has nothing to do with liking you or not. But anyway, so you guys get the idea. So they give me the idea of you can go ahead and contact these people because they are not probably people I'll invite to the party. So those are my referrals I'll be contacting. Everyone else I'm contacting as a future guest to her party. So that makes sense.
Okay, so I bet somebody that's watching is thinking, but I don't even know what a spa party is, and I don't know how to do color. So how do I even offer that?
You learn.
You learn.
You learn from In Touch, from...
I will just say, first of all, they don't know what a spa party or a color party is.
That's a good point.
Okay? So they don't know what to expect. They have no idea what it is except for what you've told them, okay? So if you decide that a color party is just following along with a color card and matching their foundation, great. That's a color party.
And that's what it was for like the first 3 years of me being a consultant. That's what a color party was.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
And I think, in these days, we've got, these days, we're so old. Doing our business for 10+ years, whatever. These days, y'all, we used to walk up the hill with no shoes. Backwards.
Backwards.
Yeah.
In the snow.
Blindfolded in the snow. Okay. So I know that you guys have tons of resources in Skincare Confident and Color Confident, and you feel like you have to know all of the things before you can offer them, but seriously, your customers don't know what the options are. So offer whatever you're confident enough to do, or use whatever resources are near you. Talk to your sales director about color events that are coming up, or spa events that are coming up, or you know what, maybe it's just a charcoal mask experience or a biocellulose mask experience. It can be something where they're only trying like less than 5 products. It's not supposed to be this big, long, drawn out thing, because if you try too many products at the appointment anyway, a confused mind does nothing and they're not gonna buy anything. So it's gonna be a really specific, specialized experience, and it might be customized to her, right? If you've got a whole group of women with, you know, lots of acne, oily skin, you're not gonna do a bunch of biocellulose masks, right? So you're gonna do whatever works for them that you feel confident in offering, and you have time in between now and whenever you book that party to figure it out, okay? So you do not need to know everything right now in order to figure that out. Just find a couple of things that you feel like you can do, and like Sarila said, learn, grow your knowledge as you go, but just one thing at a time, y'all. One thing at a time.
And it's fair to say, because I like getting pedicures, but I am not dealing with anybody else's feet. And so spa appointments do not have to involve that. Some people do.
I never do. I know. I have.
Yeah, some directors do. And I just always want to incorporate that, because if you're a foot freak like me who doesn't like feet, especially other people's feet, I don't have to do that.
I don't touch other people's feet.
No, we don't touch it.
I let them do their own feet.
I don't want to deal with bibs.
I still have feet. We pour them down the bathtub.
Yeah.
Like we recycle the water.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I just disinfect everything. It's fine.
I am not touching a bin that somebody else
Okay, so make her turn out her own.
Okay,
No,
so
no,
in case you feel like me, know that you don't have to do that. And a spa appointment can be nothing related to feet.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, it can be trying the toning lotion on one arm and not on the other. It can be doing a different mask experience.
It can be the gel mask.
It could be the gel mask,
Yes.
which you just put on.
Oh, yeah.
Invisible
I do
for
all
10
that.
minutes, right?
do the different body lotion.
Hi, Fenway.
Fenway has joined us. Fenway, can you go see Daddy?
Fenway has feelings about biocellulose mask.
Okay.
So that's what I would say about what is a spa party, what is a color party.
Yeah.
It's whatever you tell them it is, okay?
And they don't know the difference.
They don't. They have no idea.
Okay. So, let's go back to the individual close. Next step.
So you book it.
So I booked it, and it's gonna be a party, and we're excited. And so then I say, okay, one last thing. And
Hold on. Oh, when you book it, and maybe I missed this when I was letting him out. Do you give her anything in that moment? Do you do anything other than you've got the date? Is there anything else that you do?
I personally don't, but I also think that has a lot to do with the fact that I'm very confident in booking for, second appointments, because again, why wouldn't you want to book with me?
Yeah.
But if you're a newer consultant, and I wasn't always this confident, then I have done other things in the past, like I've had booking bags or like little swag, so you can call them whatever you want, but booking bags, swag bags. It's like a gift that I give them for booking on the spot. Sometimes I incorporate it into the hostess program. And so I let them know like, hey, Susie's going to get X, Y, and Z when she has 2 bookings. So I'm super excited because, when we book this spa party, it's going to allow her to even get more free products. So, that's really awesome. I don't know if you guys do anything else.
Do you guys do a hostess packet with like outside order form kind of thing?
I don't often give the outside orders. A lot of times they'll collect the orders, but not necessarily, I don't necessarily give them the pieces of paper, but I text them the hostess promotion that I'm doing. And so a lot of times I just use the company promotion because it's super easy. No bookings get you 10% of the sales. 1 booking gets you 15%, and 2 bookings get you 20%, up to $100 of free product. So based on the $500 party.
Yeah.
And so I have an image of that saved in my favorites on my phone.
Can you post that?
Absolutely. I took a picture of
A postcard or something?
like the hostess there's some brochure.
Brochure.
What
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I just took a picture out of that and I saved it to my phone so that I could just text it to them.
And you do that immediately on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay. But what do you do for outside orders though to ensure that they're going to get them?
Yeah, so I do something a little bit different. So I've got my guest list already, and it's really, really easy for me to just pop into a pic collage or something that I have saved on my phone, all of the information about the when and the where, and I text it to her right in that moment, and we take a picture together, just a quick little selfie, so that I can also have that for the people as they're RSVPing to me, like I'm a real person, I'm not just a robot, right?
Yep.
And I use that for the referrals as well.
Okay.
But then on top of that, my hostess program is something on her wish list that she didn't buy. So I will pick something out of there that I know she was really excited about, but she didn't get a chance to purchase it, either because she ran out of money or whatever, right? Whatever the reason was. And if there isn't anything, because she actually got everything on her wish list, which does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
I love it when that happens. Then I literally ask her, okay, so if you could have any other one product for free, what would it be? And I make her figure it out. And then based on who she is and how many people she's inviting and how far out the party is and all of that stuff, I'm going to tell her what she has to do in order to get that. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it is, let's say that she wants the satin hands, which is $30-something, right? And so for me, I know that if we sell at least 300, that's around that 10% mark that she was talking about, but I'm not going to make her do the math. I just know what it is.
Yeah.
So if she wants that satin hands for free, I know that we're going to need to sell $300. And so I will tell her, if we sell that $300 and we get those 2 bookings, just like Susie's getting tonight, you're going to get that satin hands for free. Now, if you have people who can't show, like let's say that some of these people can't make it, they can always order and they'll contribute to that $300. So I'm going to email you a form to make life really, really easy in case anybody does want to order, okay?
Okay. So you're covering the outside orders, because I feel really strongly that that's an area that I think a lot of us miss out on, and that we really need to capitalize on it, because our mission isn't just to hold parties. Our mission is to hold a party and have $500 in sales. And we really need to work to get that sales dollar up.
And I would add also that it's not just $500 in sales to 2 people. You want to be
Correct.
building your customer base by like 5, 6, 7, 8 people. And so when you're getting those outside orders, even though you didn't meet Susie's friends that didn't come, you're following up with them. You're delivering that product, or those are more potential customers, more potential team members, and every single one of them is going to make a difference as you grow those relationships. So any opportunity that you have to meet new people, whether it's going to be the referrals, whether it's going to be the people who can't come, or whether it's going to be the people who can come, you're working through Susie to meet new people, make more sales, and potentially have new team members.
I'm assuming that form that you email has the name and the address of the email, the phone number.
It is literally the outside order form that's on Diane's website. I can post it, but it is
post it to the files in the Pacesetters group.
It gives
But it gives you their
hostess-
contact information, so now you can directly follow up.
It's little individual things, and it's all of her contact information, the products she wants to get, and her credit card info.
Yeah.
And
so
pictures of Post-it notes.
Yeah, because as you're growing your business, and I totally get this. We start as a new consultant or even a seasoned consultant, and we're just kind of getting things going. And we really want to get to that 100 skincare customers. And we want to do it yesterday. But in order to make it happen, number one, it takes some time. You got to get the train moving, right? From a dead stop to going. But it's all of these little things that you can be doing in order to expand it more. Those referrals, the bookings, the outside order forms. And see, that's why I say we've got to not just be focused on sales, because there are so many other ways to exponentially grow your business.
And can I just add, it's working smart, not hard, right? You've got her sitting in front of you, and all of the people that she knows. Now, you don't know who those people are, you don't know where they come from or what walks of life they come from or any of that kind of stuff, but you're not gonna know if you don't ask, right?
Yeah.
So it's never gonna happen, right? If you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Yeah.
And if she does say no, guess what? You don't die. Nobody dies in Mary Kay. It's awesome.
You don't
I love
want
it
to die.
because people died all the time in my previous career. This is amazing. So nothing bad is going to happen to anybody by you asking, right?
No.
But it's true. Nothing bad is going to happen to anybody by you asking, really.
Right.
So But the other part of it is when you're using those different things, if you're not confident enough to ask the question, just make sure that there is something in it for her. When this happens, she gets X. And I don't care what X is. It could be a free mascara or a free eyeshadow that costs you $3,
She
right?
just has to be excited about it.
She just has to be excited about it.
Yes.
Whatever it is that you think she's going to be excited about, right? If she's not a glamour girl, don't offer her an eyeshadow. That's not going to work for her. But she might really love the hand cream, right? So it can be something really small and cheap. It doesn't have to cost you a lot of money, but you are going to have to throw money at the pieces of your business that you need to build your confidence in. And so if it's the outside sales, if it's getting your booking to hold on the date and time that you agreed on originally and not have 17 reschedules, if it's getting 4 people around a table instead of just working one-on-one, whatever it is that you're having trouble making happen, there just has to be something in it for her, and she will make it happen, and then you will grow your confidence that it's doable.
Yeah. Okay. Next piece of the individual close. So we did the sales, bookings.
So then the last piece is, I usually say, okay, so Susie, there's one more quick favor I have to ask you. So you know how I talked about my big goal this year, which is to earn my pink Cadillac this year. I say that now to everyone.
Because you are.
Yes, because I am. So I say, so you know how I mentioned that Cadillac that I'm going to earn this year? Well, one of the things that I need to do to earn that Cadillac is I need to get feedback from 10 women every week. And the feedback is really easy. It's literally a phone call at a time that's convenient for you. And I just, have to it's for my training. I still say that as a director.
Working on her pink
I
Cadillac.
say it as a
Whatever.
national.
Yeah, it's for my training. I would love to talk to you and get your feedback. Would there be any reason why we couldn't get on the phone for like 15 minutes and you could give me your opinion of Mary Kay? And just for your time, you're going to get a gift card to my website because I really appreciate your time. I know you're busy. I will tell you guys, when I say that 99% of the time, people say, sure. And they say that because I believe because they like me. If they like you, then they're going to want to help you, right?
Yes.
Women like to help.
Yes, women want to help others.
If you have a great party and you show them a good time and you're thinking about them, the whole thing we started this Pacesetters with, and you're having fun and laughing, they're going to want to help you. So they may not buy anything, they may not book anything, but I still get people to book the call. And so once they say, yeah, sure, I could do that, I say, okay, what's better for you, tomorrow or the next day? Because I also believe that within 48 hours, you've got to hold this call. Otherwise, it will never happen. And so I always ask them, I give them, again, 2 options, tomorrow or the next day. And they kind of think in their head about their schedule, and they tell me when they can do it. We schedule a time. And then after we schedule the time, that's when I say, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to text you a little link. It's just information about Mary Kay. It's my national sales director who's speaking. She's going to share a little bit about herself and some facts about Mary Kay. So if you could just watch that, I actually give them the option. I give them the link or the phone. If you could watch that or listen to it prior to our call, that's what basically we're going to talk about. I'm just going to get your feedback on what you hear. And she says, oh, okay, no big deal. And I say, awesome. Well, thank you so much for helping me with my challenge this week. That's it.
Okay, so that was awesome. So you've scheduled her, and let's say you've scheduled her for tomorrow at 3 o'clock. What happens in your communication with her between now when you scheduled her and 3 o'clock tomorrow when she's supposed to hop on the phone with you?
So I either text them that same day or first thing in the morning, just depending on how late it is. I have a script already typed out. It's actually a shortcut on my phone under Diane. So every time I type Diane, the whole thing pops up. And then
That's
just-
fun.
I just saying.
yeah, I use Diane's name.
Not Diane, because it would pop up all the time.
Yeah, well, actually, that happens a lot, and I'm like, dang it! Delete. No, usually I'm careful. But anyway, so I send the shortcut script, and all I do is edit the time and date on there. But the link is already typed out in the audio conference call, whatever it's called. The number is already in there. And then I send that to them, and I just remind them to listen to it before our call at such and such a time, 3 o'clock tomorrow. And then the next day, I'll send them like a little text saying like, oh, thank you again for helping me. I so appreciate it. You know, I want you to know I really appreciate your time. I'm excited to talk to you at 3. And then closer to the call time, maybe around, maybe like an hour ahead of time, I'll just say, hey, I just wanted to check in and make sure 3 o'clock was still good for you. And did you already have a chance to listen to the recording?
Yeah.
And that way, at some point from those 3 texts, I should get a response saying, yes, I can do it, or no, I can't do it, I need to reschedule. Or, you know, what happens to all of us, sometimes you get ghosted, like they don't answer. And if that's the case, you probably know that it's not gonna happen.
And I can tell you, I hate the word ghosted. I don't know, it just annoys me.
Well, the poof, they're
They
gone.
could
I
just change their
know.
mind.
Is that how ghosts work? Poof,
Poof,
they're gone?
yeah.
Well, it's for people who have a lot of interest and then all of a sudden just disappear. Like
Yeah.
they're fully engaged and
Yeah.
then nothing.
So, okay, so what
I
would
won't say
you-
that anymore.
No, everybody says
In
it.
front of you.
No, everybody says it. They all say it in front of me. even though I hate it. Okay, so I love that you shared that you're communicating with them after you book, because I think one of the biggest ways to not hold that team building appointment is to go from, okay, I booked it, to let me call you, it's 3 o'clock. And then we get ticked
Crickets,
because,
yeah.
exactly, right? And then
I'll just say, like, just because they don't answer don't tell yourself a story that like they have no interest in you and in Mary Kay and they
Exactly.
hate the product and they hate you, which we can get our minds wrapped around that. Like, women are busy. Like, if she has kids, it is very likely someone has just thrown up. Or someone has just had a poop explosion. Like,
Yes,
this is,
it's
you know,
true.
these are our lives as
Yes,
moms, right?
yes.
So these
They're
things,
fighting over a blanket and we're both
exactly.
screaming about it.
I mean, you guys, seriously, don't tell
Things
yourself
happen.
that story, because it's so many times like I'm supposed to call someone and I'm like, I need 5 minutes. The baby just threw up, you know, like those
Yeah.
things happen.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so let's stay with that for a second. Let's say somebody didn't answer the phone.
Mhm.
What will you do next?
I've been talking a lot.
I follow up immediately with a text.
Okay.
And I'm so sorry we couldn't connect just now. I hope you can still help me out with my challenge. Here's my next 2 times that I have open. Which one works better for you?
Yep, exactly.
And I remind them about what I'm giving them.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
hey, I would love to get you that gift card to my website.
Yeah, and sometimes I just say, hey, hope everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd love to just blah, 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 right?
Absolutely.
Because things happen, you guys. I mean, it happens with us, right? Okay, so now let's talk for a second about, say you've booked 6 calls for the next 24 to 48 hours. How many of those should they expect to hold?
Half.
Yeah, about 50%. You know, sometimes we think they're all going to hold, but not going to happen.
I always tell my
Yeah.
consultants that humans are 50% flaky, whether you're talking about a booking
Yes.
or a team building call,
Exactly.
doesn't matter. And it's not about you, and it's not about Mary Kay. It's about, you know, the baby
Their
throwing
life.
up or the
Yeah.
dog getting sick or a flat tire. Just
Yeah.
humans are 50% flaky.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
Yep.
And I'm staying late at work.
Yeah, and that's why I love recruiting on the spot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because of course,
We all nod, yeah.
I don't have to
That's easier,
deal with
right?
50% cancellation rate. So I'm just saying, master team building on the spot. Okay. There was something else I was going to say.
Can I talk about team
I
building
don't
on the
know.
spot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So instead of asking for the call first, I ask if they're interested in getting started right away. And so on the back of, if I'm using the company close sheet, then I have like a question game sheet that has info about Mary Kay and then the starter kit flyer on the back. And so the first thing I'll do is I'll flip that sheet over and say, do you have any interest in doing what I do? If I'm not looking at their sheet, like the marketing part or the profile part, if I did it 3 questions A, B, C.
Yeah.
So if I'm not looking at that, I ask them, do you have any interest in doing this for yourself? And some people are like, yeah, I do actually. And so great. Is this something that you want to get started with right away? And they'll tell you yes or no. And if they say no, you say great again, because everything's great. Everything's great. Everything is awesome.
And that reminds me of a couple of things. You know, one of the things when I sit down to individually close with them, I always have the starter kit flyer facing up instead of the set sheet.
Mhm.
and just ask them, what surprised you or excited you most about what you experienced today or heard today? And so now you know what direction they're going in, right?
If they mention product, flip it over.
Yeah, if they mention product versus that. Or if I see on their survey that they circled a 2 or a 3, right away I'm going to ask them, what would it take for you to get to a 5? And take advantage of the $100 in free product at your first training and instead.
Yeah.
So you can incorporate that. But if I feel like they're really hemming and hawing, I'm going to close the sale, and then I'm going to go to getting them on a training call because I don't want to come across as twisting their arm.
Yep.
But generally, I can take a 4 to a 5, sometimes a 2 to a 5, but usually a 4 to a 5. But sometimes we have to get them on the phone too.
Yep.
It just depends.
Layering.
I was a layer.
Yeah.
Lots of layers.
Yeah. It
You're
happens.
an onion.
Well, the average, that's funny. The average person needs 4 layers, right? I mean, that is the average. Okay, so do we do everything with the individual posts?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about products in the car. You just had a party, you closed 6 people. So now what logistically, share what you're doing. Go into the car with your slips.
I'm going to the car with my slips. Yeah.
And sometimes a
Absolutely.
flashlight, and sometimes an umbrella.
I'm filling their product orders. Yeah.
And let me just say, do not bring your product into the appointment. I had a new consultant once who had reached out to me, and she said, I don't know that I can do this. I am so tired after my parties. And I thought being tired is not something that I would think you would be after doing a party. And literally, she had started her business with the 3600 Emerald store. And literally, she took the whole store. She was taking the whole store into all of her parties.
In Boston, on the 5th floor walk-ups.
It's like, and literally setting up her store, which I'm sure was awesome, which was why, it was great, right? But by the same token, that doesn't scale. And it makes our job look really hard. And so you never want to carry your inventory in with you. There are different times, just leave it in the car, organized in the car. I had boxes and I had things organized so that I could go out there and I could just quickly whip it together and package it. The only time I take extra kind of display products are different. I don't know about you guys, but with holidays, I will always set up a holiday display. And, I always had a color setup because if I was going for a skincare party, I would have now the Perfect palette and the Pro palette. I would have them filled and I would have a fun color display set up in order to entice them to book that color appointment with me. But it's easy enough that it can fit in the starter kit.
Yeah, they're super slim.
Yeah, exactly. But no product to sell. Don't bring that in because we don't want to look like the bag lady. Nobody wants to do what we do when we make it look hard. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. How do you handle gifts with purchase at your appointments? Do you do them?
So, I everything's outlined on my closing sheet. So I stick to what the closing sheet offers as a party special. Those are at the party only, that day only. So I use the one that has the ABCD, all the different sets on it. And if you buy 2 sets, you get a free chocolate mask. So that's kind of what I think of as gifts with purchase, free roll-up bag. Yeah, when they do the 5 sets, that sort of thing. If I'm doing a party that I know from pre-profiling is going to be a group of college kids or probably a group that's not going to spend a lot of money, then I will do something additional. I'll have a basket of stuff that I'll take with me that they can pick something from that when they do depending on a $40 or a $50 purchase.
So eyeshadows or discontinued products or things that are not expensive.
Stuff that I would probably give away for my raffles.
Yes. Yeah.
So
and that works. I remember I think we were having an eyeshadow change coming up. And I would get one of those gold chargers and I would have the mineral eyeshadows out of the thing so that they could see them all. And they would get to pick an eyeshadow. And
for a $40 purchase.
Yeah, $40 purchase. Yeah. And it moved them. Fenway, can you go see Daddy? Go see Daddy, please. Thank you. He listens.
He's so good.
He is so good. Okay, how do you handle a heckler at an appointment?
Oh, I've had this.
Caitlin has a really good answer.
I've had this happen twice. So Diane taught me the words to say to this. And if I have a heckler, I kind of try and ignore it at first and just kind of keep the class flowing and kind of laugh it off at first. But if it keeps going at that point, I will have people like look at things and I will walk over and I will, you know, I'm so glad that you are here and I really appreciate you coming and taking this time to be here. But if you don't want to be here, I am 100% okay if you want to leave. That is okay with me and you totally have permission to do that. So it's up to you. But I am going to ask that you kind of tone it back a little bit just so I can get through this. And it's up to you one way or the other. So,
You know,
kill them with kindness.
well, and sometimes, you know, sometimes it has to be really, really bad for me to do that,
Uh-huh.
right? Like it would have to
Twice
be
in
really offensive for me to do
years.
that.
Yes.
But, you know, my first approach is that I am going to love her because I believe a heckler needs love.
They do.
Hurt people, hurt people.
And, you know, I mean, she just needs a hug. And I'm not going to hug her. But
Thank you.
But I will love her. I will love her. And I will find ways to compliment her and affirm her and to help her feel good. If she's really being nasty with me, then I might have to take a different approach. But I've never had that happen, you know? Generally, I find that if I love them, they back off.
Yep.
Because they just want attention.
Mm-hmm.
Hecklers just want attention, you guys. And, but you know, sometimes when we're new, it throws us off our game.
Sure.
And sometimes it's surprising when they're the ones who buy the most.
Or sign.
Yep. Or sign up and they're like,
Yeah,
what
then
just
you're
happened?
like,
It's true.
What just happened?
That's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
I can
what
think
is
of
going
several
on
people.
right now?
Yeah. I do remember
Yeah.
when I asked you about that really 5 or so years ago, and you told me it's okay to not work with people you don't want to work with.
Yeah.
And I have only had it happen twice, but I've had to give them that option of you can stay, but I'm going to respectfully ask you to keep it in check, or you are welcome to go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I won't be offended.
No. And, you know, and I think that situation's pretty rare.
it's super
Right.
rare.
Yeah.
Super rare.
And I think that, you know, they are just people that want attention.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they want.
Kill them with kindness.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay.
Can I say one other thing?
Sure.
That sometimes, so it kind of depends on what they're heckling me on. If they're the kind of people who are like trying to ask you those stump questions and just kind of being a little like sarcastic and nasty and that kind of thing about it, like they know everything and you don't know anything. I go, y'all, I think Jessica just needs to come up here. I'm gonna give her the tickets and y'all,
She's going to run the skincare
she's gonna
class.
run the skincare class because that, you know, I think she wants to be the one up front. So I'm just gonna go ahead.
And watch what happens when you say that.
And usually Jessica's like, well, that's okay. You can keep going.
But then she usually
stops.
Yeah.
She
No, it's
usually
true.
figures it out. And everybody laughs. There's like, Jessica's always like that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yes.
No offense to all the Jessicas watching. It was just the first name that came to mind.
Yes.
That
No,
wasn't
it's
Susie.
true.
Because Susie was our great hostess. So I couldn't use her again.
Okay, so what do you do when, you know, some consultants, they feel as though, you know, we all want to be educated and we want to have the answers and we don't feel comfortable not knowing everything. And so what do you do when somebody asks you a question and you don't know the answer and you're that kind of person that you hate not knowing the answer?
We are those people. We are those people.
High C's and a mid C.
I lost my seat.
We are those people. And so that's how we do ticket marketing a lot of times is if you don't know the answers, I used to keep a little, like a little pad of paper next to wherever I was doing stuff at the front. And anytime somebody would ask me a question that I didn't know the answer to, I would just jot it down and say, you know what, I don't know the answer to that question. Here's your 3 tickets. Great job on stumping me, but I will get back to you with an answer. And then when you meet up with them at the end, make sure you have their email or text or whatever. Talk to your senior, talk to your recruiter, talk to whoever, check it out on In Touch, whatever you need to do, get them an answer. And then you have a reason to follow up with them outside of everything else. So
Yeah.
absolutely, let them stump you.
I was so that person. I was so terrified that I didn't have all the answers. I thought I needed to memorize the ingredients in alphabetical order.
That's hysterical because I am so, and we're going to talk in a second, you guys, and you're going to hear the C coming out because you've got C too.
Oh, I do. Not as much as these two, but I have some.
Yeah, like I am so basic right now with my lost C that I don't really tell them anything except it's a cleanser. Let's wash your face.
Clean.
Feels good, right?
Yeah.
Take it off.
It's called a 4-in-1 cleanser. Let's
If
wash
you go
your face.
fast enough, they won't ask you any question.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny.
But that's why I set up the ticket game, like she was saying, the way that I do, because it gives me permission to not know an answer. And especially when I'm working with a new consultant or at a debut or something like that, I say, you know what, the best way to learn is to be confronted with things that you don't know, right? Like, how are you going to figure out that you don't know it unless somebody asks? So it's totally fine to not know everything. It is expected to not know everything, right? You're going to learn as you go, and that's totally okay. But I was so terrified of that. When I first started my business, I was so scared. I didn't even want them to ask me questions. I would hide behind my flip chart so that every once in a while they could see my eyes, and then I'd come back behind the flip chart. Because if I made eye contact with somebody, they might ask me a question that I didn't know the answer to yet. Because I had only read through everything in my starter kit like 3 or 4 times, and I didn't have it all memorized. So it was really, really scary for me. And my senior had to tell me, like, stop, like, it's okay. make it a thing that if they stump you, you celebrate them. It's exciting that they've stumped you. And guess what? You get to go learn something new, because she knows I love to learn something new. That's
And when I was new for like 2 years, I kept saying, I'm brand new.
Yeah.
And so I hope I can answer all your questions, but it's possible. I would put that out there.
Yeah.
So that I wouldn't feel awkward if a question came that I didn't know. And the other thing I will tell you guys is I honestly think that when I was new, I did a lot of observing. I watched skincare classes that Diane did, that Danielle did constantly, like over and over and over again. And what I realized was, as I was doing my own parties and also watching them, the questions are generally all the same.
Yes.
They're generally the same ones over and over again.
It's true.
So if you observe enough that you get your general skincare class to where it is, the likelihood of you getting a question that you don't know is probably less than 10%.
Yeah, they get really obscure at this point. It's like, what's the percentage of salicylic acid in the? And you're like, really? Okay, fine. Here's your 3 tickets. Right?
I can look that up. I don't know.
So,
It's true.
but just know that whatever those questions are, if you preface it with either I'm new and I don't know all the things, so please test me and I'll write down what I don't know and then I'll know it for the next party and I'll get back to you. Or if you've been doing it for a while and you still kind of have this fear in there, know that you can celebrate those people, that you can learn something new, and they want those tickets, y'all. Especially the competitive ones. They want those tickets. They get really excited when they get a question that stumps you. So if you make it like that, nobody is annoyed that you don't know the answer.
Right.
And I will also tell you, almost no one is annoyed ever that you don't know the answer, because they just don't care that much.
Most of the time you say, I'll get back to you, and they say, oh, that's okay. No.
Apparently, I don't need to know the protein makeup of the polypeptides in the night cream, but
No, you don't.
But doesn't it feel good?
but I can tell you how it holds anyway.
Okay, so let's talk about the products for a second, okay? So we know, wouldn't you agree, that the key products that we demo at a first-time appointment, well, not always the 3D Miracle Set, sometimes it's the time-wise
A
repair,
skincare
right?
set, whatever's appropriate for the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Microdermabrasion, satin hands, satin lips, foundation primer with CC cream with the brush, right? Because we can't upsell the foundation primer and the brush if we're not demoing it,
Right.
right? Anything else
That's
that I'm
basically
missing?
it. Charcoal mask is a
Best
give or
favorite.
take, depending. Some people do it, some people don't. I think there's benefits to both. So it
Yeah.
just depends on how you feel.
And I think
about
it depends on the people that you're in front of, right? If there's a younger crowd and they talk about occasional acne and that kind of stuff, I'll do charcoal mask instead of microderm. If it's an older crowd and they're talking about discoloration or age spots or something, I'll do microderm and not charcoal mask, right?
Yeah.
So you will tweak what you are demoing that's appropriate based on your pre-profiling, which I'm sure you're doing for all of your appointments and all of the guests at all of your appointments.
Let me ask you something though. You know, there's been I've been talking to different nationals, and you know, it gives you an idea what other people are doing, and a lot of them are demoing the time-wise repair set, just automatically doing time-wise repair with everybody, because it's so much easier to go down if they need to go to the 3D miracle set instead of going up.
Mhm.
Have you ever just taken that approach in your business?
I've done it a few times. I generally don't, because I find I can sell time-wise repair by displaying it and talking about it in my introduction and
Okay.
showing them like a before and after, and people are so fine. So I don't necessarily feel I need to do that, but I have done it on occasion.
So share with everybody. Can you post the before and after, number one, to the group, to the Pacesetters group, but then share with everybody what you say about it to tell them.
Okay.
So, you know, you're demoing the 3D. What are you saying about the repair?
So before I even demo the product, I tell them that we've got several different skincare lines. So today we're going to use our most popular line, which is for early to moderate signs of aging. It's called our Time-Wise Miracle Set 3D. We also have a line for the younger gals called Botanical Effects. There's no anti-aging in that. We've got an acne line for people who have issues with chronic acne. We have a men's line. And then we also have, if you're like me and you don't want to look old ever, then I literally say that, you know, if you don't want to look old ever, then I've got a line that is the anti-aging and what we're using today times 10. And what's great is it's the same number of steps, but it's got an additional product, which is literally like Spanx for your face. And I have the products. Sometimes I display them. Sometimes I show them a picture. It really doesn't matter. But I say, you know, if you are somebody who is probably, and I say Mary Kay typically recommends that once you're in your 40s that you consider increasing your level of anti-aging. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm all about prevention. So if you're like a savvy skincare person and you, again, don't want to look old ever, then
Good words.
then because everyone wants to be savvy, right? Then I say, you know, if you want to look 10 years younger than you actually are, then I would really encourage you to consider upping your skincare game to our Time-Wise Repair line. So we're going to try this line today, and if you love it, that's great. But if you want something like this with more anti-aging, just know that we have that too. And then I get into all the products.
Fantastic. That's good. Good. Very good. Okay. How do you decide, you know, what makes you decide to demo the charcoal mask or not?
At the appointment or
At the appointment.
So a lot of times I don't demo the charcoal mask in the first appointment because I want to show them how fast, fun, and easy this is. And it gives me a great opportunity for follow-up for second appointments. And I put charcoal masks as part of my spa appointments so that it just gives me another reason to follow up. And maybe they're gonna try a different skincare line. We'll add in the charcoal mask. You know, we'll have a great time. We'll check out some lotions and we'll go home with a sweet mask on your face. And you're gonna wake up and feel like you just rested 10 years. Like all those things. And so for me personally, a lot of times I don't demo charcoal mask in the first one unless I very specifically had a facial box that says enter to win a charcoal mask. Or charcoal mask appointment, whatever. But so for me personally, I've started going back to just skincare at the first appointment, and I can't really speak much to demoing the repair set that much. A lot of times I do it based on age, but not always. But so that's for my personal decision of just doing skincare. I sell a ton of skincare sets by not demoing the charcoal mask because they feel the results on their face because I demo half and then I say, okay, I'm not cool. We're gonna go back and balance. Like, and then they feel it and then they're like, oh, this is so nice. Just like that.
Yeah. And, you know, and it's funny because, you know, that's an example, you guys, of being able to figure out, you know, what works best for you and your business. I love demoing the charcoal mask, but you know, the reason I love demoing it is because I love having a captive audience in order that I can market to them and share
gives you
my
time
eye
to do
story.
that.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
because there's nothing else to do during that time. And so, but I'm very careful about setting my timer for 10 minutes. And I tell them at home, you know what, they can keep this on for 20, but I set the timer so that it's 10, I can mark it, they get the experience of it, and then we wash it off. But,
And I'll also say from a selling perspective, because my closing sheet is buy 2 sets, get a free charcoal mask, and people love the charcoal mask, it helps me to sell those sets. So I get them to buy a miracle set because it's 2 sets on the page because they want the charcoal mask. So that's
same
another
with
reason
me.
why
Yeah.
I do that.
But you know what? Whatever's working for you, keep doing it. Because, and it shows you the 2 examples. And so if Caitlin's is working for her, she needs to keep doing what works for her. And so if you already have something that's working for you, keep doing it. There are always different ideas that you're going to hear in your business, whether it's through this Pacesetters or some other program. And just know, don't change what already works. These are just ideas to enhance if you're not necessarily getting the results that you want. Okay, so all of those products are in the flip chart. Satin hands, satin lips, but not satin lips.
Satin lips isn't.
Right? What do you guys tell them? Microderms. Oh yeah,
It's not
microderms not in
it's
there.
not.
So
Oddly
let's-
enough, oil-free eye makeup remover is not either.
that's odd.
I have a sticky note in my flip chart to remember to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about
Diane
this
has
for
a
a
note
second.
coming up today.
Yes, the cards aren't in there. I have sticky notes all over my flip chart.
Okay, so let's talk about microderm. What do you? How do you sell that at your appointments?
That's an easy.
That's
They
it.
just
Like
try
you,
it.
all they have to do is like put it on the back of their hand. They're like, oh, I gotta do this hand. Like they feel the results instantly.
And I know some people demo it on half the face so they can feel the difference. I do it on the hand just because it takes a lot of water.
Yes,
But like they'll feel that difference, and like I just have them look and compare their 2 hands, and I said, other than wet, what what can you like? Can you tell a difference between your 2 hands? And I'm gonna say 99% of the time people can.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you can't see it, can you feel it? And they do this, and they're like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And it's such an easy sell because it's such an instant gratification product. It's kind of like watching the charcoal mask, smell the stuff coming out of your
Right.
face.
Before we put it on the hand, I always tell them, or I kind of ask them, like, okay, if you guys have any issues with the following things, I say if you have large pores, if you have whiteheads, if you have blackheads, if you have redness, if you have fine lines, if you have uneven texture on your skin, if you have ruddiness, if you have, I mean, I just have this laundry list of things, right? Which no woman is like, nope, not me. I don't have any of those, you know?
My skin is porcelain.
In my case, it was acne scars. And
Yeah,
that's,
acne scars is another one.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the whole list of things I
Oh,
would
yeah.
rifle off, and you can see their heads nodding, like,
Uh-huh.
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And I say, okay, then this is the product, you know, that is going to make the biggest difference there.
So before we get into too much detail on all the products, because I know we're going to go through like our best-selling tips of some of the most popular products, I would just like to say to you that if you are not sure about any of this stuff, you can literally say, okay, put it on. The microdermabrasion is, and read the back of the bottle, and then say, okay, rinse it off. How's it feel?
Yep.
Okay, that's gonna work because it's about how it feels. When we say that the product sells itself, it's because you're demoing it. You will sell what you demo. So if you're excited about selling a $55 set of microdermabrasion, people better be putting it on their hands or their face or their elbows, or I don't care where they're putting it.
Yeah.
But if they try it, they'll buy it.
Right.
If they don't try it, they don't know it exists, and they're never gonna buy it. So never be afraid to literally read the back of a bottle or a box. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's skip some product stuff because I'm just looking at the time. I want to make sure we get through some of this other stuff. And if we have time, we'll come back to some core tips.
And if we don't, read the back of the boxes.
Yeah. There you go. Yes.
Done.
Okay. So here's another question. How do you stay organized with your customer profile cards and your sales slips and your referral sheets and the money after an appointment? All that stuff.
Other than hire an assistant. That's not the answer you're looking for.
Outside of Correct.
Okay. So the sheet protectors.
Go back to the beginning, people.
Rewind. So sheet protectors, like the ones that you like slide pages and they're transparent on both sides. I like to take I think Michelle Sanders was the one who mentioned it, and she takes it and she puts all the stuff in one pocket, so it's all right there. So money lives in the money bag, but the order slips, my profile cards, referrals, marketing slips, everything goes into the sheet protector, so I can like find the packet of papers, and then it's all right there. It's all right there, and then after everything gets inputted, my profile cards go in an alphabetical system. My order slips get filed by month. Instead of date, they get filed by month. And then my referral slips and my marketing sheets go into like my notebook, so I can keep track of everything.
Is this like an individual transparent thing per party?
Per party, yeah.
Okay.
Not like I don't stick all the referrals in one sheet, because then I'd be like, who do you belong
Yeah.
to? So I keep all of
And
it
this
in
is
the one
binder?
party. Yeah, like I keep everything in like a 3-ring binder.
So all of Susie's party slips are in here and referrals and everything, and then all of Jessica's parties are over here because Jessica was awesome and she held the party.
Exactly.
Because after she did that.
After all that,
After all that,
she
she
ended up
held
holding a
the
party and still had
Yep. And then that way I can input everything all at once. Because I don't want to like keep spacing it out. Like I want to input the profile cards into In Touch with the orders, and then you know it will track on your weekly accomplishment sheet and all of that, and then you can file them away and be done. Yeah.
Okay.
Add your 2 + 2 + 2s per follow-up.
Awesome. Anything else you guys would add?
I would add that I also tag people as they're getting inputted. And so in other words, if a customer is a Miracle Set customer, she's tagged in that group. If she's a repair customer, she's tagged with that. If she's a prospect, because she was like in my conversation, I decided that she's interested. I tag her as a prospect. So I have several different tags that I use from In Touch to help me keep that organized. And I can
In your My Customers.
in my customers, exactly, so that I can always search by group, by tag. I do that, and then with my referrals, when you say inputted, I mean it goes into a spreadsheet, and because I use a service to contact them, and so when it's in a spreadsheet, I can easily import those names and numbers into the service that I use.
Yeah. And I'll say whether or not you have an assistant, that stuff has to get entered into In Touch relatively quickly, right? Because you need to be able to do your 2-day, 2-week, 2-month follow-up, which I know we're going to talk about in a minute, but you can't do a 2-day follow-up if they're still sitting in the binder a week later. And that's a problem because you have to be providing that quick customer service and make sure that they're loving their products, using their products, open to their products, whatever it is that's going on there. So make sure that whatever you're doing, whether you have an assistant or a teenager that you can pay in lip gloss or whatever you've got going on, just get it into In Touch. And then honestly, I have no idea what happens to the paper part. Because everything's In Touch.
Yeah.
It's all goes
I
in
get
there.
rid of mine.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah,
completely.
my customer profile cards, I don't keep them.
You just shred them.
And they get shredded. We keep
don't want
one copy of the receipt for tax purposes.
Yes.
For that year,
Yep.
for all of my sales, but otherwise I don't keep anything.
Yeah, and
Wow.
and it's just like use the resources that the company gives us. Everything that you need to keep track of, you can keep track of in Touch.
Yeah.
Okay, so stop reinventing the wheel and creating your own systems and your own forms and your own whatever. Just use In Touch. Use the reminders. Use the 2 + 2. Use the the tags and the reminders and all of that stuff. Because if you're using that, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier and a whole lot more organized.
Yeah.
But if it sits in a pile because you don't feel like entering it for 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years or whatever you've got going on, one, you're not providing good customer service. And 2, how do you even know what's going on in your business or how much money you're making or what?
And it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you don't enter as you go, you'll never do it because then the pile just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's just like, why would you spend your time doing
Right. But it's really, really important.
If you're gonna watch a Netflix show, just put on the Netflix show and input everything after 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay, did you guys talk when I ran out? Did you talk at all about bankrupting your business with the money?
No.
So let's talk about the money from the party because I think it's so easy. You go to a party, you've got $500 in sales and $300 on credit cards, but you got $200 in cash because some people pay with cash.
Yeah.
And it's easy to say, oh my gosh, I need gas in the car. Let me use that. I need to stop at the store and get milk and diapers. And
Are you looking into my
Literally, that happens once a week.
I was a young mom at one point. I know I
amazing.
She does look
There's the time going.
She must be using Time-Wise repair.
My chiropractor, I'm not gonna say my age.
But you have
talking
a
about it
35-year-old daughter.
I know, I guess
Right,
you're
we're not doing that.
And she said, oh, I wouldn't think that. You don't look that and you don't act it. And I'm like, I'm gonna take that as a compliment. What does that mean? Okay, so, but
So,
that can bankrupt a business, right?
Uh-huh.
Because you guys, it's so easy to steal from your business in that way. And your business can only pay you like a business if you treat it like a business. And so it's important that you don't do anything with the money that's in that money bag when you leave that party. You deposit it, you process the cards, and whatever the split is, the 40-60 split, the 50-50 split, whatever it is that you are doing in that moment, that you do that and then transfer it to pay yourself. But you can't get into that habit, because I can promise you, you will bankrupt your business.
So can I say how I handled that?
Mhm.
So first of all, I think it's really important to have separate bank accounts.
Mhm.
If you're going to be getting cash or checks or anything like that, it can't go into your family bank account, because it's so easy to be like, where did that money go?
Yes.
I know I had it.
Yeah.
I did, I deposited it. And then you paid the electric bill, and then you paid the water bill, and now it's not there anymore.
Or your
Um,
husband used the
Or
debit
your
card
husband
and spent
used the
it.
debit. Yep.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
or your husband used the debit card. Anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
While this
So-
husband bashing is going on, I'm gonna get some more coffee.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, an account that he's not on is useful.
But it doesn't have to be a business account.
No,
don't
no,
need a
just a
paid
free
account.
checking
Yes,
account. Absolutely.
exactly.
Just a free checking account, but separate for your business money versus your family account, the one that you pay the mortgage out of, that kind of thing, right? And so I make sure all of the cash and checks and whatever go into that business account. It's a free checking account with the credit union. There's no fees, no minimums, no whatever's on it, right? And then process everything in the ProPay as well. I'm at a different level in my business, so I cannot pay myself until the end of every month. When I take all of it, I know what my order needs to be, because I also have enough inventory that I don't need to be constantly reordering and spending an extra $11 on shipping every single time I need an eyeliner.
Yes. Yeah.
Or whatever that is,
Because
right?
that bankrupts your business too.
Absolutely, it does, right? And so, so I only place 1, maybe 2 orders a month if there's something exciting or special happening, like a flash sale or something like that happens. But I wait until the end of the month, and I've got all of my sales and all my everything. It's all on my weekly accomplishment sheet. I know exactly how much I've done this month. And I also know what else I'm saving for, right? If I'm saving for seminar, if I'm saving for fall retreat, if I need to get registered, all that kind of stuff, that might change my ratio for this month. Like maybe this month I'm not doing a 60-40, maybe I'm doing a 70-30 because I need to get my tickets for fall retreat.
Yeah.
So if you're having trouble figuring out the math of all of that, just talk to your sales director, because we've all been there. We've all done the wrong thing with our money. We've all either embezzled from our business and not restocked our inventory, or, not just done the right things with it. And we've all not paid ourselves.
Well, and I was going to say,
and done that incorrectly too.
yeah, exactly. Sometimes we're just selling 600 and putting 600 in, and selling 600 and putting 600 in. And, there are times that, okay, it might make sense in the moment, but you can't be doing that all the time.
Yeah, that can't be
that can't be a muscle you grow. This is about running a business, and there are amazing benefits. And oh, by the way, you're supposed to make money.
Yeah, right. This is a business, not a charity. Huh?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
We're not a nonprofit.
No, it's not a nonprofit. Okay, so we know that you go to a party or an appointment, whatever it is, and you sell product, and there's credit cards. Credit cards need to be processed that day.
Yes.
Right? Not tomorrow, not the next day, like that day. It has to happen. That I think is key.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
I would say the same for checks if you take them.
Yes, just check.
Deposit your checks same day.
Yeah, same day, mobile deposits. Everybody's got mobile deposits, I
Yeah.
think, these days. Always process and clear everything. Okay, so let's talk about CDS, customer delivery service. In what instance do you use customer delivery service?
If the person lives really far away, And it's not worth it for me to package it up and take it to the post office. If the order's big enough, I'm gonna pay more by weight at the post office than I am with the CDS flat fee anyway. Or if I don't have the product. Like for me personally, I'm highly allergic to fragrances. If I have it in my house and a bottle gets opened, I will have hives all over my body, right? So there are certain products that I don't carry even with a full store. So if those are the only two instances really that I use the CDS, because I don't want to pay the extra in shipping.
Yeah.
And I also don't have the opportunity to add those little notes and add those personal touches that I think that my customers enjoy. Yeah.
I do it if I run out of something. Like the day I ran out of foundation primer and sold 3 of them and said, oh no. I had to send 3 CDS orders. So because I didn't stock enough. And so I had to process the order somehow. So CDS, here we go.
Haven't run out of primer since then, right?
I don't run out of primer anymore.
Yeah. Lesson you learned. How about you? Same. Yeah. You know, I find also that I do it in those instances, or if I'm traveling or on vacation.
Yes.
And you know, you guys, your business is something that you don't have to work 24/7 by any stretch of the imagination. But you know, I always, when I'm on vacation, I check my email once a day. And you know why? Because I want to see if I have any orders. That's the only thing that really highlights me, that I'm going to process it and send it CDS. Because my customers, they just know that orders are going to go out within 24 hours. And that's just a guarantee that I have made just for the reliability in my business. Because customers, one of the biggest complaints is their consultants don't have product, or their consultants don't call them. They never hear from their consultants. And so I just don't want to be one of those statistics, because so many of my customers I've gotten for being a star consultant and getting the referrals on the website. And the number one question to me is timeliness and inventory. Do I carry inventory? And when they send me an order and I'm traveling, I send it CDS and I just let them know, hey, I'm out of the country. Hey, I'm on vacation, but I've had it shipped out to you. And it will be there within a matter of a day or two. And I always do the most expensive CDS shipping.
Faster.
The faster shipping. Because, you know, it's like a boat from China.
It's not coming from the Chinese factory. It's just coming from Dallas.
Oh, but it's like
it's like UPS versus USPS, and all of a sudden, instead of being transferred 3 different times, it just goes right to your door.
Exactly.
It's worth the extra $3.
Yeah, that whole handoff thing, not worth it, guys. Not worth it.
Spend your profit on keeping
you know,
people happy.
it doesn't look like it when you see the thing. It says like 3 to 5 business days versus 3 to 8 business days. But seriously, the first one is 3 days. The second one is 8 days. That's what it is.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Okay, so after that initial appointment, what are your best practices for providing good customer service to ensure that they're coming back to you and again and again?
I'm all about my 2+2+2. That's it. That is the core of my customer service. And I can't tell you how much I get asked this question because of how much I sell, but I'm not reinventing the wheel here. This is the original Mary Kay Ash program. I just have Mary Kay in touch to make it easier for me, which all of you have too. I have no resources or tools that y'all don't have. So I'm not the only one with access to the 2+2+2. But like we were saying earlier, when you're inputting those customer profile cards into your Mary Kay in Touch and your My Customers, whether you're on the app or you're on your desktop or your laptop, it doesn't matter. You tag them with whatever, you know, the categories and all that stuff, like Sarita was saying. But then at the very bottom, when you're adding your products in there, it'll ask you, do you want reminders? And then you've got a drop-down menu and you've got options, and you can set up custom things where you can just click on the tried and true 2+2+2, which is 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, okay? And I've posted my scripts out before, but I'll post them again in the Pacesetters group. But the 2 days is just, you know, hey, Susie, it's Sarah Beth Mary Kay. It was so great to meet you the other day. How are you living your product? Did you open it yet?
Is the call or a text?
It's whichever one she says she wants.
Okay.
So
I have that as a tag.
What is
I
it?
say the text, like not on the word, but
calls
on
versus
text. Call, text, email.
Yep.
I have them as tags, so I know how I'm supposed to follow up.
You
on
can
them.
actually sort them
That's
by
a good
contact.
idea.
You
Yeah.
can actually sort them by contact preference.
Oh.
I like the
I
tag. I can find it faster.
Right, okay, yeah, the tags are great too, but they tell you, right? There's a place for it on the profile card. Do you prefer a call, a text, or an email? If they haven't checked one off when I'm individually closing them, I just ask, you know, what's the best way to get in touch with you? And they'll tell me, oh, text me, I never answer my phone, right? Or just leave a voicemail. I will listen to it, but I never answer text messages. Whatever they say, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I reach out in their preferred contact method on the 2-day, 2-week, 2-month mark. And then the only other time that I reach out to them is for their anniversary or their birthday. I send them an email and I send them a handwritten card in the mail. She was watching me write all my handwritten cards for all my Septembers today. And then on top of that, I have 2 sales a year, and that's it.
So, okay, and I'm assuming you have a VIP Facebook group for your customers?
I still have a fan page, which I do the same things with, but it's not a group. It's what we used when I started.
Okay.
Back in the
Okay.
day.
Back in the day. Okay. And the sales, I think you bring up a good point. You know, so often what I see consultants do is, you know, they're always giving discounts and sales, and what happens is, wouldn't you agree that customers, they just become numb and they expect that they're not going to pay full price,
That they're never going to pay full price for anything.
It's just like Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah,
That sends you a 20% coupon every
month.
Every
month.
Well, exactly.
And you can find them online, right?
Yes.
And you can find them, you know, on the ground, like they're anywhere.
It's at the
just
door
like-
of the Bed Bath &
It's
Beyond.
just like Kohl's,
This
right?
is such a great analogy. It's
And
so
so,
true.
and so what do? Like you get those and you're like, cool, I'll save them. But do you ever go to Bed Bath & Beyond and use those things? No.
Rarely.
Because I do.
But
You do them too,
but I don't when there's urgency.
But I don't go unless I have one.
Unless you have a coupon.
I find one
Coupons
because
are
I
so
won't pay
easy.
full price because I know I can get it on the ground.
Exactly.
I now know you can stockpile them, and so you can use a couple of them at once.
Yeah.
Oh, they stack?
Yes.
Why not?
I'll do one.
There you go.
Yeah. So what that means is that Bed Bath & Beyond inflates their prices on purpose
Yes.
because you're going to go in and get 20% off and
But it's
pay.
a psychological thing.
Right, but that's the actual price, right? And so when we constantly discount our products, we're devaluing the cost of the product. And what we're saying to our customers is really the price is inflated. And
And
you
it's
shouldn't be
not.
paying that to begin with.
No, our products are very reasonably priced. There's no reason for discounts. I do technically give 3 discounts a year. One in their birthday month, I give them 15% off all month on their order. And then I do one sale for Pink Friday. Everybody else knows it as Black Friday, but in Mary Kay we call it Pink Friday. And then I do something at the end of June in that big push to finish things off. That is the only time I'm
Me too.
discounting products.
Yep.
And there's absolutely no reason to discount products otherwise, y'all. There just isn't. And if you're doing it every month, like Diane was saying, it absolutely numbs them to it. It's like I get a text, I don't know, 3 times a week from Dress Barn that something is 20% off. Or yeah, it is closing at the end of the year, but they're still texting me.
Kendra Scott's doing the same thing right now. And so they've numbed me.
Yeah,
They've
really?
numbed me. Yeah. That I won't
Discounts
pay
all the
full
time.
price. I will always do discounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also
In
getting
fact, I
kind
got
of
one
annoyed
today,
with
so I'm
them.
gonna go to the new store that's in Legacy Place.
But I'm
Remember the
really
people who are here?
annoyed.
Yeah, so this time I'm buying for our guest speakers at Fall Retreat.
Okay.
Ah.
And then how can we earn them again?
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to
Get a
talk about
Cadillac?
that. Cadillac. Yes.
It's taller than a Cadillac.
By November 1st.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So
We digress.
We digress.
We do that.
Okay, so let's go back to product. What is a product that you just love that you feel that that you can give them some tips on how to sell it? You know, like I always, when I was in my heyday of, 5 appointments a week, right? Oil mattifier, I sold it out the wazoo. If there was an oily skin customer at my appointment, she was going home with an oil mattifier as an upsell. It's an inexpensive product, but it was just another product that was deep that kept her tied to me because I knew she wasn't going to find anything like it in the market that was going to do what our oil mattifier did. And the only thing I always did was I had one to demo, logical, right? Because I have to demo it to buy it. And I would say, who has oily skin? After they did the CC cream or foundation in that heyday, because it was before we actually had the CC creams. And the foundation would already be on, and who's got oily skin? And then I would go put it a little bit on their tray, and I'd say, put it in the spots where you get the oil. And right away, they would see their skin matte in those spots. I promise you, 99% of the time, they bought oil mattifier.
It's such a great price point too.
Yeah, and that's all I had to say about it. Like literally, because I'm a wash your face with the cleanser girl.
Put it on, take it up.
Yeah, because that is it. And so right away, I sold it. So what's a product for you that you love to sell that's out of the core line of what we do? You know, like, is it?
Not
I
like,
have
not
I
like
have two.
Ultimate
I have two
Miracle
products.
Set, but like other
No.
stuff.
All right, I
like-
have two products. So
Okay.
the Clear Proof set, because that's how I got started with Mary Kay. And so if I'm showing somebody the Clear Proof set, one piece, and this is and I always tell people, hands down, this is my favorite product in Mary Kay, and it's the Pore Purifying Serum.
Ah.
And so it's an add-on, and you can add it on to the Miracle set. You can add it on to the Clear Proof set. And it's constantly purging the pores of bacteria so that you're constantly keeping them clean. And it made the biggest difference from using the Clear Proof set to making the biggest shift in my skin where I was no longer breaking out. And so it's $17.
And who do you offer it to?
Anybody who typically it's people who are on who are either trying Clear Proof and need an acne system, or people who liked the microdermabrasion and really like how big, or don't like how big their pores, big pores, like who have large pores and sometimes they break out in those pores. Those are the people I'm showing it to. And so it's an easy one to do that.
So let me ask you. So is that one, would it be fair to say at the appointment, who suffers from periodic breakouts?
Yeah.
I've got a product for you. It's called our Pore Purifying Serum.
Yeah.
Because you use it after what product?
You would use it right after your cleanser.
So after your cleanser, before you put your day cream on, and it is going to purge your pores all day long in order to help prevent those breakouts.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there you go. See, that's
It's
like
super
a
easy
cleanse,
and
wash
like-
your face.
Exactly.
You got it, Diane. Right? You can sell some Pore Purifying Serum,
I know,
right?
I am going to.
You'll get back to us.
The other product that I love to sell, and if you're not doing a color appointment, and if you're not going to dash out the door set because somebody says I don't wear makeup, or it's nighttime and they're like, I just want to go home ready for bed, throw them in the night cream instead of the day cream, and then put on the moisture renewing gel mask. Because they put that on and I'm like, it's gonna dry clear, so you're not gonna like wake up with chalk all over your bed. Like, it's gonna go on and you're gonna wake up and your face is gonna be baby soft.
Okay, so if you ever, what? Like, why would they need that?
Diane needs your little
Like,
Wake up feeling
if,
So
if,
you're
if you ever
somebody-
if you ever wake up feeling super oily or super dry, because I find it helps really balance that skin out, and you want to wake up with crazy soft skin, you can sleep in this mask. This is part of my lazy man routine.
Okay.
Diane is down with the lazy routine.
So if you're somebody who wakes up and your skin is either more oily or more dry, it's because you need a supplemental moisturizer.
Yeah.
And the great thing is this one, you sleep in it, you put it on, and in the morning you wash your face and it comes off, and it will be baby soft. And what's confusing for a lot of people is when you have oily skin, you think no more moisture, but actually it's craving the moisture. And so it's that supplement. Okay.
Absolutely. And you can sleep in it. That's my favorite part.
Yes.
The lazy man routine. All you need is
I'm all about lazy man routine.
So who wants to balance their skin while they're asleep?
So who wants to buy the oil mattifier, the gel mask, and the pore purifying serum? There's a set.
I call it the lazy man routine, and it is the cleansing cloths, and eye makeup remover, and the moisture renewing gel mask. Because I keep all three of them next to my bed with stacked cotton rounds.
That is super lazy.
And I do. I'm not even joking. I will pour water out of my water bottle and onto the thing.
That
and,
is a little extreme.
you know, sometimes it just happens though. Like I do an eye makeup remover with cotton rounds, wash my face,
Don't
and put
recommend.
on.
Don't try this at home.
I don't recommend it.
That's
Camping.
hilarious.
Your
Camping.
glamping kit.
You're glamping. Camping, lazy man, gym routine.
There you go.
So
Okay.
my product is the under eye corrector.
Okay,
Ooh, that's a good
awesome
one.
one.
So
That's okay, I'll come up with another.
so what I say is, because inevitably people are always talking about their eyes, right? And the dark circles and all of that. And so I say, okay, so for those of you who are inflicted with any sort of tired looking eyes, this right here is literally 8 hours of sleep in a tube. That's what I say. I love that. You will be amazed at how awake and alive you look just by dabbing the tiniest bit of this on in your purpley under eye area. Amazed.
Awesome.
That's what I say.
That's good. That's an easy one. I love that product.
I say, if you're like me and you look like a zombie when you wake up, no matter how many hours you've slept. Same kind of thing. Yeah, because I do. I look like a zombie. I don't know. My eyes are sunken into my face in a weird way. The under eye corrector is so ridiculously amazing on my face.
Yes.
All right, so I have to come up with a different product. I will say the tone correcting serum. actually.
Okay.
Ooh, that's it.
So I know y'all can't tell because you know me now, but if you knew me 10 years ago, you would know that my face was covered in discolorations of one kind or another. I will readily admit my name is Sarah Beth and I'm a picker and it's a problem. So I had a lot of just scarring and dark marks and even red marks and different things. I was born with eczema. I started getting pizza face acne when I was 9, and it didn't end until I found Mary Kay when I was 25. So the tone correcting serum is very, for those of you that are more seasoned, it's very similar to what we used to have with the Even Complexion set. So it absolutely just brightens up those dark spots. It reduces the ruddiness. It evens everything out to the point that literally now I can wear under eye corrector and mineral powder foundation and not feel like I have dark spots all over my face.
So is it fair to say if you're someone who has ruddiness,
I
or
say
you have discolorations, age spots, or just discolorations because of acne breakouts, anything that would have caused discolorations.
Yeah.
This is your friend.
this is your new best friend. So I say if you're somebody like me who really struggles with discoloration, whether that's, too dark, too light, too red,
Yeah.
whatever kind of discoloration, it's not the same as the rest of your face. Yeah. So the tone correcting serum
I was
is
like-
going to be amazing.
I love
She
it.
sold
I
me.
use it.
She sold me on that earlier today.
Yeah.
She's
I
like,
love
why
it.
haven't you been
I
using
sold
the
her
tone
one.
corrector?
Yeah.
I was like, well, I will try it.
Okay, one more product. Do you guys sell Serum Plus C?
Yes.
Okay, so tell them how to sell
Very
Serum
excited
Plus
about
C.
Serum.
Can I talk about 2 products? Okay, so
Yes.
Serum Plus C. It's how you rebuild the balance and the elasticity in your skin, and it smells really good, which I love. And I don't know if you guys know, there's like a open thing on the window. Thank you. There's a thing on the side, and you can see how much product is left.
Yeah.
I love it. So that helps really restore the elasticity in the skin, and for me personally, it helps reduce the redness because I have really, really red skin underneath this. But if you pair that with the vitamin C squares, shut the front door of your face, like it transforms overnight. I don't know. They're
It's
magic
amazing.
squares. They are magic squares
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. And it like my face is a completely different color, which is why I'm so excited to try the tone correcting serum with this now. But the vitamin C squares and Serum Plus C, like it helps keep your skin looking younger longer.
And tell them what you told me about where they get the vitamin C from.
Oh, the vitamin C is derived not from oranges, like acidic fruit, because that causes more redness. And so these are derived from like plums and pomegranates. And so you're actually getting the vitamin C that's not going to tear up your skin, and it's not going to create more redness in the process.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think Diane's going to use that.
And then you
I
call
use
it
it on myself.
I mean that factoid.
Oh, it's so
Did you
like
say that factoid?
I used to use a product. I used to use a product that was derived from oranges and lemons and grapefruits, and it turned like it made my skin nice and tight, but it turned my face really red, and so I
Because of
had
the
to stop
citric
using
acid.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
That's awesome.
And then you called it, I think you called it a push-up bra for your face.
oh no, that was the under or
Oh.
the firming eye cream.
I think
For me,
I
ice
think
cream is
that-
like the push-up bra for your face.
I think the serum seeds also.
Yeah, kind of sounds.
Maybe
like
it's a demi and the other one's a push-up.
Ah, there you go.
or it's a facelift.
Face
Yes.
in a bottle.
Yeah. Okay, so that was really good. That was really good.
So fun.
Okay, so I hope, let me see if there are any other questions over here. You know, there was one question that we missed that was, how do you handle the objection when they need to look at their work schedule when you're trying to book them at the individual clubs?
Oh, love that objection. It's my fave. So I use something called the tentative booking approach, which I've learned from my mentors. And basically what I say, great, absolutely, you should look at your schedule and figure out what works. But let me just tell you what I find works best is if we tentatively pick a date that you think might work, that way I can block off the time for you in my schedule. And, you know, worst case, if you have to work or something comes up, we can totally reschedule. It's not a big deal at all. But I would love to I book up really quickly. So I want to make sure that I have that time set aside for you. And then we can, you know, confirm it in a day or two and see how things are looking. So, you know, what do you think would work best? And I would say 90% of the time, people pick a date. Yeah, people still book. Yeah.
And can I add something to that?
Sure.
It's exactly the same as the objection of, oh, I would have to talk to my friends to find a date, right? It's exactly the same thing where they're like hemming and hawing. Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. And for that, it's very similar to the tentative booking approach, except I also add in the fact, like, listen, you and I are the most important people in this equation, right? And so if we can find a time that works for you and me first, if absolutely no one can come, obviously we'll reschedule. But if you can get the most important people there, then that's really good. And that way I have it blocked out for you because I do book up really quickly and I want to make sure I've got the time for you. Yeah. And
Those are
also, if your friends are anything like mine, like trying to coordinate between all of them is just
Never
impossible.
gonna get all of them
It's right? And
Yeah.
you didn't ask them when you were going to have your wedding, right? So let's just pick a date.
I love that one. You didn't ask them when you were going to have their wedding.
You didn't ask
Yeah.
them when you were going to have your wedding,
Yes.
right? You picked a date that
What are
worked
you
for
all free?
So,
That's awesome. That's
All
really
100
good.
of you.
Yeah.
I got married on Mother's Day. I feel very strongly about this. You still came and you still showed up. You brought your kid. It was
Oh
great.
my gosh. That is so funny. Okay, so you guys, I mean, we've covered a lot and it's been awesome. You guys did a great job. Give it up for them. Yay!
Give it up for Caitlin for playing on
Yeah. So awesome.
And give it up for you guys for watching.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so 2 more things before we shut down. So we have had 3 sessions, right? And this is the final one. And so from here, all of this is only as good as the action that you take. Because we can learn and we can learn and we can take notes and we can think, oh my gosh, that's gonna be great at my next party. But you guys, we have to take action and we have to start applying. And so what we're gonna do is we are going to, and if you haven't done Pacesetters with us before, we always have vouchers. And this time we are going to have 3 vouchers still. There's going to be a voucher for each week to finish up the rest of September. I am going to post a voucher tonight, and it is going to start tomorrow, and it's going to go through Sunday. And then on Sunday, I'm going to post a voucher that will go from Monday through Sunday. And then the next Sunday, I'm going to post a voucher that's going to go from Monday through Sunday. So there are going to be 3 vouchers that you get to complete. But this time, we are going to have you do it with a partner. And that means that it is going to be the combination of your points with your partner that is going to go into our top 5 grand prize winners. Now, who's going to be your partner? Well, guess what? You get to choose. Who do you want to be your partner? You know, who do you want to be an accountability partner that you're going to light a fire under each other's butts that, you know what, you are making stuff happen in your business at a level that you can get excited about. And so you're going to pick your partner. If you don't, you know, it has to be somebody doing Pacesetters, right? So just saying. You know, and if you have somebody that signed up and they haven't been watching the videos, then they're going to have a video marathon tomorrow, and they can get caught up so they can be your partner. And I put a Google form on the Pacesetters group today. So you just have to finalize who your partner is, and you guys need to get that in by end of day tomorrow. Partners have to be selected by end of day tomorrow. And I say end of day tomorrow because some people, you know, they're not watching us live because they had commitments or working or what have you, but they know that they need to watch the videos within 24 hours. So that gives them a chance, okay? If you don't know who to have as a partner, reach out to your sales director and she will help to match you with a partner. Because as sales directors, you know, if we get people that need a partner, we can collectively work it out through our director Voxer group or the director Facebook group, okay? So that is number one. So hopefully you are excited about doing it with a partner because I think that is a great way to do it. The second thing is that, I guess I told you about the vouchers. Yeah, I told you about the vouchers. I didn't need to tell you that. Okay, so I am going to post the voucher tonight so that you can get started on it tomorrow. And everything on the voucher is designed to challenge you and to get you focused on the things that you should want to be focused on to really make something happen in your business. And you guys, sometimes it feels like it's kind of hard. And I will tell you, it's only hard until it gets easy and it's only dark until it gets light. And it's in those moments when something's feeling hard that there's a lesson that you need to learn and you need to grow the muscle and break through to the next level. And that's happened for all of us. You know, it's a process, it's a journey. You learn through it, you grow through it. And so I just encourage you to use this month and this program to really help you get to the next level for where you want to be. Anything else you guys would add?
I don't think so.
All right. Then you guys, thanks for tuning in live. We appreciate you being here. I'm so excited. I think it was awesome that I had these three amazing women live and in person, and that Caitlin invested so much in you guys that she flew in all the way from Denver. Like, seriously, who does that? Nobody has ever done it except Caitlin. Yes, it's awesome. All right, you guys, good night. Good night, and good luck with your vouchers.